So this is probably in my top 5 worst dates. I was dating a guy who was an awful person. He and I broke up, and I was ready to start dating again. So I didn't know where to meet guys. I didn't want to go to a bar and meet guys that way. So someone suggested online dating. And so I started talking to this guy. I personally did not find him that attractive, but we went to college together. I didn't remember him, but he seemed very familiar. And while I was not crazy about talking to him, there was just, there was something about him where I'm like, all right, I could meet him. So after we talked for a long time, he's like, okay, let me pick you up. Let me take you on a date. So he's decided 7 o'clock. All right, so it's about 6:40, and I'm taking my dog out to the bathroom. Our backyard was under construction, so I couldn't let her out that way. My dog is taking a dump, on the lawn. That's what dogs do. And I'm cleaning it up, and this car rolls by. Keep in mind, it's 6:40, 20 minutes before he's supposed to pick me up. This car rolls by. He rolls down the window like he's some kind of drug dealer, and he's like, oh, hey, what's up?
Oh, yeah, we definitely didn't mention that one. But when a guy shows up for a date early, you better not come in and say hi. Just sit in your car, wait, apologize first.
Yes.
You got to do one of those things. Because if you're early for a date and your date doesn't know it, that's just not okay.
No, you know what? I'm a Russian Jew, so I take extra long to get ready. I am always late for things. I mean, she will tell you.
It's a family trait. It's not her fault.
Right. So I am always late to things. And I know that's a pet peeve for other people. However, so I need that 20 extra minutes to get ready.
It's 20 minutes for a girl. It's not like he showed up 5 minutes early or 2 minutes early. It's fine. But 20 minutes that's not a small amount of time.
I need those 20 minutes. First of all, obviously to clean after my dog, but to finish getting ready. So I'm like, oh, hey, nice to meet you. And he looks down at my dog. My dog is continuing, she's taking a dump. I mean, like I said, that's what dogs do.
She's pooping.
So, I clean it up, whatever. I'm like, hey, you know what? Come inside. Let me wash my hands. Let me grab my purse. He's like, okay. So he comes in and I do those things and his phone rings. And he's like, I'm really sorry. I have to take this. This is work. I work at this mattress store. And, that's fine,
Mm-hmm.
Mattress store is fine. But he's like, I work in the mattress store. I'm a manager. It's my day off. And I've been getting phone calls all day. My employees don't know what they're doing. This is an emergency. I need to take this. So he goes outside. And he's outside for 25 minutes. I'm like, is he waiting for me to come back outside? I'm not really sure what to do.
Who knows?
I don't know. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to come outside. I come outside. He's still on the phone and he seems very upset, very irritated, whatever. He sees me and he's like, all right, you guys got to figure this out. I have to go. I'm on this date with this really nice girl. Okay. So I walk to the car and it looks like he's about to open the car door for me. And then he turns around and goes to his side. All right. Not every guy was raised to
open car doors for girls.
That's fine. They
like that.
They could be taught. So
true.
So I get in the car and I'm like, okay, so where do you want to go to eat? He's like, I have no idea. I mean, he's got a little attitude going on. I guess he got very irritated with the work phone call. So I started suggesting every single restaurant within I don't know, a 10 to 15 mile radius.
15 mile radius, yeah.
And he's like, I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that. I'm not in the mood for that. And I'm thinking, okay, girls get a bad rep for not being able to decide where they want to go out to eat. This guy had no idea, and I could not think of anything that he was interested in.
I commend you for even coming up with things, because I would just sit there and wait for him to come up with something.
Right. So, my favorite food is buffalo wings. So I decided, I'm like, hey, let me suggest some buffalo wings. And what are you doing?
We're running out of our free recording.
Okay, so stop.
Okay. I am. I'm in. Wait, there's a limit? What is that?
Did you stop it?
Yes, I stopped it.
Okay.
I did stop.
We can always, yeah. So I decided that why don't I suggest my favorite place to eat? Well, it's not really my favorite place, but they have my favorite food, which is buffalo wings. I love everything spicy. Just I could eat it for breakfast, and I do sometimes. So I suggested Buffalo Wild Wings because, you know, they kind of have everything that you can choose from, and that way, you know.
It's a good option. It's like, it's neutral. It's a neutral territory.
Right. The only thing is, you know, like when we get there, I decided that I didn't want to order wings because I didn't want to eat sloppy and him look at me with disgust and be like, wow, this girl eats like a
not
pig.
A delicate food. No.
No, it's not. So, he's looking at the menu and he's looking at it with such disgust. And he goes, I don't know what I want to eat. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, you are at a buffalo wing restaurant. So why don't you
get buffalo wings?
Get buffalo wings. And he's like, okay. So I ordered chicken tenders. That way I could still dip it in the buffalo sauce, which, like I said, is my favorite thing. And he's like, okay, well, I don't know what sauce to order. There's like a billion sauces to choose from. And he's so whiny.
This guy is so decisive, clearly.
So I'm like, okay, well, why don't you pick several sauces and the waitress can bring the samples out and then you can decide for yourself like what flavors you like. And he's like, all right. So he picks like a bunch of different weird flavors. And he's like, every time he tries it, he makes this face like, like it's so unattractive to see him like this. I mean, to see him actually at all. And
okay.
So, you know, he can't decide. And he's like, this is disgusting. So he picks several other flavors. The waitress brings more, you know, flavors out. Once again, like really weird flavors. And he's making the face again. And he's just absolutely disgusted. So he's like, I don't know what flavor I want. These are all gross. And I'm like, all right, well, you picked out some really weird flavors. Why don't you try some normal ones?
Like barbecue sauce.
Barbecue, maybe mild, hot. Yeah.
Something that's neutral.
Honey mustard. I don't know. And he's like, fine. Like as if
it's like a labor.
Right. Okay.
Like it's so difficult to eat just regular sauces for me.
So I think he went with like honey mustard or something like that. And so he's eating the wings and he's like licking his fingers, going, and just he has a disgusted face again the entire time as he's eating. And he throws these bones down as his fingers are covered with this disgusting sauce and he's licking his fingers. And he goes, that was the most disgusting meal I've ever had.
Then don't eat it.
He ate everything. So, okay. So, you know, I'm pretty uncomfortable with this guy at this point, and he drove me there, which, by the way, he does not know how to drive. But, okay, we'll discuss that later. The waitress comes over. I didn't finish my meal, and I was planning to take the food home for my dog. So the dog, you know, who was taking a dump when he picked me up. The waitress comes over, and she's like, oh, can I box that? And before I can get a word out, he goes, no, she's not taking that home.
Like, it's your food.
Oh,
is it?
Okay.
His food? No, it's my food.
Wow, I didn't realize that you controlled my decisions. Okay, you are not a nice person. You know, I'm trying to be nice here. So,
trying very hard.
So while we're waiting for the check, we somehow came up in conversation that we had a mutual friend, and I'm not going to say his name, so we'll call him Theodore. So he's like, oh, you know, Theodore and I, we went to a New Year's party together. Do you want to see the video? And no, I'm not really, but okay. He showed it to me anyway, and he's showing me the video, and he goes, yeah, that's Theodore right there. I know what my friend looks like. And he's like, oh, see that girl? See that girl in the video? Yeah. I banged her.
Congratulations.
Okay. Oh, and that other girl? Yeah, she and I used to date. She was really easy. I banged her too. Okay. This date is, you know, it's
like,
over.
Like, let's just take me home. Let's
go.
go.
Please, like the check, please now. So I reach for the check and he's like, no, I'll pay for it. I'm taking you out.
Like,
okay,
thanks.
The only good thing that he did on the date was pay for it. And how he treated me, he had to. Okay. So we go back to the car and he looks as though he's going to go open the door for me. And I'm thinking, wow, you know, maybe finally something else
Some
that he does.
Redeeming quality
something,
in this guy.
Right? He goes to the door, he rubs dirt off the door and then walks back to his side.
And then you go, womp, womp,
wow.
womp.
Yeah, basically. So we get in the car and, you know, I've got like barbecue or buffalo breath. I don't know. So I popped some gum in my mouth and I didn't even offer any to him, right? I just popped some gum in my mouth and he looks at me and goes, yeah, I know why you put gum in your mouth. And I go, why?
So I could get you close enough to punch you.
And he goes, you want to kiss me? And I'm like, oh, no, I absolutely no. I'm like, please take me home. And he's like,
you want to kiss me, don't you?
He's like, you want to kiss me? And I'm like, oh my, yeah, no. I'm like, no, I really don't. He's like, yeah, you do. I'm like, oh no, please, you're disgusting.
No,
take me home.
I've absolutely no urge to kiss you at this point. I have no urge to touch you. I just want to go home.
So, okay, so he, we get in the car and he's driving like a lunatic, which, by the way, he did on the way there. He drove like a lunatic and he cursed a lot. And on the way home, some lady cuts him off and he just exploded. Like every curse word possible came out of his mouth like 5 times and he's freaking out. And, I'm fearing for my life. I'm like, I just want to go home.
I just want to go home, please.
So, as we pull onto my street, he had to do a U-turn and he hit some trash cans. Okay, that's really embarrassing. So as I'm trying to get out of my seatbelt as fast as possible, I want to jump out of the car while it's still rolling. And he goes, oh, but don't you want to give me a hug and kiss goodbye? I'm like, no, I really don't. He's like, yeah, but right. I think you do. I'm like, no, I really don't. I just want to go home. And my dad is taking out the trash at this time. And my dad is a big Russian guy.
Like, he's like what you expect, like a big, burly, older Russian man to look.
Right. So, like, people always think that he's in the mafia because he's, like, this big Russian guy. So, my dad's walking out the driveway, and he's like, oh, is that your dad? I'm like, oh, yeah, you better let me out now because he'll be really mad that I'm on this date. And he goes, oh, okay. So I get out of the car, like I'm running for my life to the door, and I hug my dad. I'm like, thank you for taking the trash out.
It's it's probably her dad's like going, okay.
He has no idea what's going on.
Welcome.
I mean,
you're welcome for taking the trash out.
So anyway, so this guy, like, I don't hear from him, and I'm thinking, oh, thank gosh, this guy's not texting me, not calling me, anything. Maybe he got the idea that this date was just horrendous, and he is the worst person ever. So then I get a text, like, a couple weeks later, and he goes, hey, beautiful. How you doing? You want to go out again? I'm like, no, I don't. But I decided, I'm like, all right. So I don't want to really engage in too much conversation with him. So I respond, pizza. Because like I had been on this kick where if I didn't want to talk to somebody, I respond in random words. So I'm like, pizza. Then I'm like, rhinoceros. Okay. And he goes, oh, do you want to get pizza with me? I'm like, no, I'm not responding. Goodbye.
Get out of my face. So wait, so let's take some down. So he was early. He was on the phone for 25 minutes without any excuse.
No, he did give an excuse, but he was still like on the phone for a long time.
He was indecisive about the restaurant. He did not open any doors for you. In fact, pretended like he seemed like he was going to open the door and then didn't.
Yeah, rub the dirt off his door.
Of course. He was an angry driver. A bad driver. He was controlling, did not want me to take my food home. Didn't let you take your food home.
No.
Was rude to waitstaff.
He definitely was, because he was just really... He was gross. The way he was eating, the facial expressions he made.
The facial expressions. He talked about ex-girlfriends. He talked about girls that he would bang.
Yeah. He also thought that I wanted to kiss him because I put gum in my mouth, even though I said no.
So we're at like 10 good things that make you go,
I don't know how many, but it was an awful date and definitely in my top 5 of how awful they are. So yeah. So next time we're going to talk about some more awful dates or some crazy people that we've met. So join us next time. Yeah.
Thanks for listening.